Some of you know we spent a month in Paris last year. I covered my observations in detail in a prior video, but suffice to say, I found French culture to be much more sane and much less woke than big city American culture. Now, the French have zero understanding of basic economics. They're largely socialist and have therefore condemned themselves to a slow, painful economic death. But in terms of culture, they seem to me to be doing okay. It was therefore a great disappointment, if not a huge surprise, that the French Olympics turned into a woke fest of biblical proportions. From the satanic Last Supper ritual put together by their gay artistic director to the legal and openly condoned physical abuse of a woman at the hands of a man in the boxing ring, woke psychosis was on full display during the Paris Olympics, to the extent that even some of the craziest leftists in the United States were left scratching their heads about how it could possibly be okay for a man to pummel a woman into submission, and that could be cheered and celebrated. I found the living conditions in Paris to be adequate, but generally inferior to similar cities in the United States. Therefore, I did not find the cardboard beds built for the Olympians to be a complete surprise. After all, they are sustainable. You do know that France produces about 0.83% of the world's carbon emissions. So these beds are going to really have one heck of an impact anyway. What I did not expect, and what showcased the anti-human, comfort-hating agenda of the woke left, was that the organizers of the French Olympics managed to ruin the food. Ruin the food. How is that even possible? In a place where the worst strawberry that you can buy is better than the best strawberry that you can buy in New York, how do you manage to ruin the food? Simple, says the International Olympic Committee. Food for the Olympians was mostly plant-based, which produces less carbon dioxide. And access to meat and other high-protein foods was rationed at one of the most visible and high-stakes athletic events in the world. The IOC decides to ration food to the competitors. When you say it out loud, it's almost impossible to believe. And of course, adequate air conditioning was completely out of the question in swelteringly hot Paris. In the middle of the summer, the Australians lost an enormous amount of my respect with their irrational iron fist type approach to COVID, but they began to redeem themselves here. Here's a quote from the CEO of the Australian Olympic Committee. "We appreciate the concept of not having air conditioning due to the carbon footprint, but this is a high-performance games. We're not going there for a picnic." No kidding. This entire fiasco is just another big reminder that woke activists are not real people. They're almost exclusively people who fancy themselves as elites who have a better understanding of what we normal people need than we do. And this is actually good news for the normal people out there. The Paris Olympics was in many ways like sending a text to every normal person in the world saying something like, "We are completely out of our minds. Whatever you do, do not listen to us." Message received, IOC and the mayor of Paris. We're finally listening to you, and we do not like what we hear.